This video is about famous Hollywood celebrities and people who passed away in January 2008 in the United States. Before we proceed, please subscribe to our channel to support us. Melina Nurmi. She was born in December 1922 and she died in January 2008. Her age was 85 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Melina Nurmi created the original Gothic television persona vampire, pioneering a spooky, glamorous style that influenced generations of horror hosts. Heath Ledger. He was born in April 1979 and he died in January 2008. His age was 28 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was accidental overdose. Heath Ledger was a brilliant, versatile actor whose mesmerizing performances, especially as the Joker, secured his place as one of Hollywood's great talents, lost too soon. Suzanne Plesette. She was born in January 1937 and she died in January 2008. Her age was 70 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was respiratory failure. Suzanne Plesette charmed television audiences as Bob Newhart's witty and stylish wife, creating an enduring image of the modern sitcom woman. Brad Renfro. He was born in July 1982 and he died in January 2008. His age was 25 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was drug overdose. Brad Renfro burst onto the Hollywood scene as a gifted child actor, but struggled with addiction, ultimately leading to his untimely death. Lois Nettleton. She was born in August 1927 and she died in January 2008. Her age was 80 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was lung cancer. Lois Nettleton was a graceful, Emmy-winning actress, acclaimed for her powerful performances on stage, film, and television. Melvin. He was born in February 1923 and he died in January 2008. His age was 84 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cancer. Melvin brought warmth and humor to countless classic television shows, playing memorable roles that endeared him to generations of viewers. Roberto Duran. He was born in February 1920 and he died in January 2008. His age was 87 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was myocardial infarction. Roberto Duran was a multi-talented performer and painter who left his mark on both daytime television and the world of fine art. Philip Agee. He was born in January 1935 and he died in January 2008. His age was 72 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was ulcer complications. Philip Agee was a controversial former CIA officer who exposed covert operations and became a fierce critic of the United States intelligence practices. Salvator Bunano. He was born in November 1930 and he died in January 2008. His age was 75 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart failure. Salvatore Bill Bunano, son of mob boss Joseph Bunano, became an author recounting the hidden world of organized crime with startling candor. Margaret Truman. She was born in February 1924 and she died in January 2008. Her age was 83 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Margaret Truman was a best-selling mystery author and singer who stepped out from her presidential father's shadow to create a distinguished career of her own. Jon Stewart. He was born in September 1939 and he died in January 2008. His age was 68 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was stroke. Jon Stewart was a folk music force, crafting timeless melodies both as part of the Kingston Trio and as a successful solo artist. Frances Loune. She was born in January 1921 and she died in January 2008. Her age was 86 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was true. Frances Loune was a trailblazing journalist who fought for gender equality in the White House press corps during a pivotal era for women reporters. Edward Buddy LaRu. He was born in August 1930 and he died in January 2008. His age was 77 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Buddy LaRu was a colorful figure in baseball, known for his part ownership of the Boston Red Sox and his bold, sometimes chaotic management style. Bobby Fischer. He was born in March 1943 and he died in January 2008. His age was 64 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was kidney failure. Bobby Fischer revolutionized chess, becoming a Cold War icon after his legendary 1972 match victory, but later withdrew into eccentric exile. Christopher Bowman. He was born in March 1967 and he died in January 2008. His age was 40 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was drug overdose. Christopher Bowman dazzled on ice as a two-time United States champion, but later battling personal demons that led to a tragic early death. Georgia Frontier. She was born in November 1927 and she died in January 2008. Her age was 80 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was breast cancer. Georgia Frontier shattered NFL norms as a successful female team owner, leading the Rams to a Super Bowl win and leaving a lasting legacy. Carl Karcher. He was born in January 1917 and he died in January 2008. His age was 90 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was Parkinson's disease complications. Carl Karcher built a fast food empire from a single hot dog cart, helping to define American quick service dining with Carl's Jr. restaurants. Raymond Jacobs. He was born in January 1926 and he died in January 2008. His age was 82 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Raymond Jacobs captured one of America's most iconic Second World War moments, helping immortalize the historic flag raising at Iwo Jima. Miles Lurman. He was born in January 1920 and he died in January 2008. His age was 88 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cancer. Miles Lurman survived the Holocaust and went on to ensure its memory endured, playing a critical role in the creation of the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum. Randy Salerno. He was born in January 1963 and he died in January 2008. His age was 45 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was a snowmobile accident. Randy Salerno was a trusted, friendly face in Chicago journalism, remembered for his professionalism and easygoing on-air presence. Christian Brando. He was born in May 1958 and he died in January 2008. His age was 49 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was pneumonia. Christian Brando lived a troubled life in the public eye, overshadowed by his famous family name and tumultuous personal struggles. Gordon B. Bhinckley. He was born in June 1910 and he died in January 2008. His age was 97 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Gordon B. Bhinckley led the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, into a new era of global expansion and modernization, beloved for his humor and humility. Johnny Podres. He was born in September 1932 and he died in January 2008. His age was 75 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart and kidney ailments and a leg infection. Johnny Podres was a Dodgers World Series savior in 1955, delivering a clutch Game 7 shutout that forever etched his name in baseball lore. Ernie Holmes. He was born in July 1948 and he died in January 2008. His age was 59 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was car accident. Ernie Holmes was a dominant defensive tackle for the Steelers' famed Steel Curtain, known for his fearsome strength and rough-edged persona. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a nice day.